Welcome to this episode of Let's Chat MetaPWR. My name is Anna Foley, and tonight's guest is Vanessa Docherty. Vanessa is a homeschooling stay-at-home mum from the sunny coast. We were just talking about how beautiful the lifestyle is there up in the Sunshine Coast. Vanessa worked in corporate banking for 20 years and suffered mostly in silence with low iron, stage 4 endometriosis, and infertility. After the birth of their two beautiful IVF babies, she made a commitment to her sons that she would do everything she possibly could to create a healthier home so that they wouldn't have to go through the heartache that she and her husband experienced to become parents. So we'll fast forward to now, and that drive and experience that Vanessa went through with her family has turned into a passion, especially for helping other mums to feel empowered, helping with the overwhelm, and making it easy to make natural swaps in their homes. So, Vanessa, we're looking forward to hearing about your journey, especially with MetaPWR.
Emotional listening
Yes.
to that, Anna.
Oh, how beautiful. It's good for you to reflect and hear your achievements, isn't it?
Yeah, you forget what has happened. Like when you're feeling good, you forget what it was like when you were in the thick of it.
Let's
And
go back to that then, Vanessa. Yeah, can you talk through that experience?
yeah, and I think when you asked me to speak, I was like, let's think about where I have come from, because as a teenager, I suffered with low iron. I remember my parents coming home from a parent-teacher interview with a six-pack of stout under their arm, and I went to a Catholic high school, and they come home with this six-pack of stout under their arm, and they said, they've told us to give you a stout every night to help boost your iron because you're so tired in class. So I think back to that time, and it has been a long journey. And then into my 20s, working, I was, coming home from work, 5 o'clock, I'd fall asleep on the couch. I was just tired all the time. And into my 30s, I would be catching the train. Like, we lived down in Frankston in Melbourne. I was catching the train to the city. I was falling asleep on the train going to work, not even coming home on the train. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, I was the one nodding off because I just could not keep my eyes open. So that's kind of where, and I've seen every naturopath, and I've taken every herb and every supplement that people have given me over the time. And that sort of led into fertility issues, trying to conceive our babies. And as you said there, I suffered mostly in silence. And this is 10, 11 years ago. So it's a very different time to what it is now. And, when you're trying to conceive and everyone around you is falling pregnant easily and announcing pregnancies, and you're newly married, then the last thing that you want to talk about is that you're having trouble. And as I said, it was stage 4 endometriosis. It was that severe that it would knock me out. I literally could not get out of bed. I would have gastro-like symptoms every month. It would be a week of that, and then after it, I would come up with like a cold. So my immune system would be working overtime, and I'd get a head cold, and so I'd be wiped out for 2 weeks of every month, and then I'd be like, oh, through that, and then before you know it, it's there again. But through IVF, we did conceive our two beautiful boys. And as you said, then I just made a commitment to myself that I needed to do something different, and I needed to be able to function for them. So I, just went on this journey of trying to figure out what worked for me. As I said, I saw naturopaths and everyone, and started to just clean up my lifestyle, what we ate, what we're using in our home. As I said, I worked in corporate life, so I was around perfume every day, every day. And the amount of women in that corporate office that suffered from infertility, just now that I look back on it, is mind-blowing. In a team of women, of 5 women, there were 3 of us that suffered from infertility. And then it's just been a journey of trying to figure out the pieces of the puzzle that work for me. And the last piece of that puzzle was MetaPWR last year. I was skeptical. I was like, I'm hearing all these good things about MetaPWR, but I'm not sure if it's for me, but I'll give it a go. I noticed within the first couple of weeks, I noticed my energy levels. I lay down with the boys to go to sleep. So when they go to sleep at 7 o'clock, I lay down with them and guarantee I will fall asleep with them every time. And that was me out for the night. My husband knew that I wasn't coming back out of that bedroom. And if I was just crawling into my own bed. So that's what I noticed the most. I could put them down to bed and then I could get up and still function. The other thing that I noticed was my sleep. So I noticed that I was having better sleep, so quite deep sleep, which I hadn't experienced for a while. So that was sort of what I noticed in the first couple of weeks. And then I continued on for the month and I thought, far out, this is a big investment every month. And I'm not sure that I can commit to this investment every month. And yes, I did feel better on it, but is it worth it? I did see the sleep and I did see the energy, but I was like, oh, I'm not sure that it's worth the investment. So I stopped taking it at the end of my first month. And then I went into that second month and my hormones were just all over the shop. And yeah, they were up and they were down and I was crazy woman that month. And then it made me reflect on the month before and I was like, I didn't feel like this last month. So what have I, and then it clicked with me that the only thing that I had done differently was this month I had taken out MetaPWR. So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then, yeah, the week before my cycle, my husband's like, my gosh, what is going on? And so, yeah, I really noticed that. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do this little test again. I will buy another packet of MetaPWR and I'll see how I go in the next month. Well, it was like night and day. I just feel like my hormones just level out. I feel like I'm not on these big spikes and then these big troughs. I just feel normal and I don't feel like a crazy woman. For me now, it's like I actually don't even think about the investment. It is a not negotiable for me now because I don't want to go back to feeling the way that I did. For me, it has been the change in my hormones, so my consistency of my hormones, that is the reason that I now keep taking MetaPWR. So the energy and the sleep are a bonus. I do have stronger nails now, so I have noticed that my nails are stronger, but the reason that I keep taking it is because I feel like it levels me out and it's just that piece of my health puzzle that I've finally found after a very long journey.
Really like how you describe that. It's that final missing piece of the puzzle. That's very interesting. And I also love that, this is something that can help all ages. So you're talking on a hormone level where we're approaching perimenopause, perhaps menopause, but also how you related it back to teens or women of all ages who need that iron support.
Yep.
And then again, gender of all types who need that energy support, especially with battling fatigue and stuff.
Yeah, and it's interesting because my husband has now just started taking it in the last month. So now not only are we buying one packet a month, we're buying two. So I went from going, I can't invest in this every month to I am now buying 2 packets a month because he had a bacterial infection which led to pneumonia a couple of months ago. So his energy was just zapped. And so I was like, you need to get on this. I'm putting the box right near the water filter. And I noticed that every day he is taking it and he is consistent in taking it. I was thinking about what I have noticed in him, and that is overnight, he's not wiped out. He's not zonked. So he actually just has that energy to keep going through the day.
And I think we're all so overwhelmed with, the amount of responsibilities we have in our day or things we've got to get done. And lives are just busy, aren't they? And
Oh,
there's a lot of reliance on caffeine or other stimulants. And it's just so nice that we can choose something natural. Did you find starting with MetaPWR and now that you've been on it for over a year, have you had any changes with things like that?
I was the biggest chocolate eater that you would come across. I am, yes, I'm ashamed the amount of chocolate that I used to put in my weekly trolley. And I would, yeah. Uh, Even in my 20s and 30s, I was known for having the lollies or the chocolate in the drawer. Or if there was the charity box of caramello koalas, I kept them in business. We would have, the kids would have a couple of blocks of chocolate, like the squares of a family block after dinner. And then, while I'm cleaning up, I would pretty close to finishing off that family block of chocolate every night. So I have found it wasn't even something that I thought of, but we'd break the chocolate again and my husband would go, do you want some? And I go, actually, no, I don't. Like, I didn't have that craving of needing that chocolate of a night that it was easy for me to say, no, I don't want any chocolate. I don't feel like I need chocolate. And I don't need it at that 3 o'clock point of like, oh, feeling exhausted. I have my MetaPWR at lunchtime, and I feel that helps me in my afternoon slump, which I'm not getting anymore. And I'm not reaching for the chocolate as my tool to keep me awake.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing so vulnerably. I think a lot of us turned to chocolate, especially over the last few years. And it's just such an easy addiction to get to the habit of. But so nice to hear that you're saying it's effortless, that you're just not craving that chocolate anymore.
No, I wasn't even consciously thinking I'm going to stop chocolate. It just happened. And then I was like, actually, I've stopped eating chocolate. So obviously then to do with weight and, all of that stuff, I was just like, okay, well, I'm cutting out a block of chocolate pretty much every night. So
And there you go. That's your money that you can put toward menopause.
exactly. And then because I was like, well, I'm not eating it, so then I don't buy it. So then the kids stop eating it too. So it's worked out quite well. They're like, where's the chocolate? I'm like, don't need it.
Amazing. What a change in habit. And
Yeah.
it is a great thing, when we're looking at the investment of MetaPower and whether it's breaking it down into how much is it a day, a
Mm.
couple of dollars, maybe that helps, or is it the effect of how it impacts on the family. So you're feeling better, your husband's, you both got more energy to last through your day. The whole family's eating probably healthier choices.
Yeah, you're right. It's the whole family benefits from one change.
Amazing. Yeah. And you have had that personal experience of the month where you didn't take it, so
Mm.
you can directly parallel like what.
It's like with everything, you go, I'm a bit skeptical. I know people say that this works, but it doesn't work. I was like that, with lots of things that I've brought into my home. I'm not sure that that'll work, but I'll give it a go anyway. And then you're like, actually, it does. I've heard a couple of people on here too talk about writing down exactly how they're feeling before they start MetaPower. And I think that is a really powerful way of understanding what it does for you. And I didn't do that. And I think that's why I stopped after the first month, because I wasn't seeing the change in my hormones as a change. I was seeing my sleep and my energy, but it wasn't necessarily my hormones, where I feel as if I had done that sort of checklist in with how I was feeling beforehand, I probably would have picked up that hormone change and the sugar craving change, but I didn't. So I went off it, and then I was like, ew, no. Body says no.
Yeah.
I think too, because I'm 46, all my friends are similar ages. And so I'm seeing them go through all of the things of perimenopause. And I'm like, that's not me. I don't have the extreme symptoms of what I see my friends going through in perimenopause.
Do you find yourself talking about MetaPower then for people like that,
Yeah,
or?
they're like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, this
Mhm.
little orange sachet. Give me
Right,
a
they're
go.
asking you.
They're like, are you feeling like that? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not on that roller coaster. And I put it down to MetaPower.
Amazing. Well, it's having that impact on the different areas of your life, not only, your nutrition and your energy, the sleep, probably your relationships would be healthier, would you say?
Yes, we
Balance.
actually have an evening that we can talk to each other now, that we're both not crashing tired overnight. Like, I'm not falling asleep with the kids and he's cleaned up dinner and it's like, where's she gone? Well, she's out for the crash. So yeah, we can have a conversation after 7 o'clock now. And
Yeah.
actually a decent conversation. We're like, oh, I'm so tired. Just want to crash into bed. But yeah, it's that clarity of mind. And I put it down. I've had iron infusions before, and I put it down to that feeling that week or two after you've had your iron infusion where you actually feel like that brain fog has gone, and you actually know what it feels like to think clearly, and you realize that you were operating with a brain fog. And so I have it as a similar feeling to that I don't have that brain fog that I'm operating in anymore. It's a clarity of thought.
And that's consistent for you because you're taking MetaPWR?
Yep. Yep. I hardly miss a day. And if I'm out and about, I have that with me during the day because it's a not negotiable.
Did you like the flavour of the collagen when you first
Yeah,
started?
I don't understand what people say when they say they don't like it. I don't get it. I've liked it since day dot. I've always enjoyed the taste of it. And I
Yeah.
prefer it in water than orange juice.
Oh, okay, that's a tip. There's two schools. There's the people like yourself and me. I love the taste of it. It's like a sherbety whiz fizz
Yeah,
kick
yeah,
start to
that's a good way to explain it.
it's kind of tingly, and my partner said, oh, it makes him dance. But then there's other people who just can't handle the taste. It's not their taste preference, but finding different ways, like you said, with juice, adding a drop of the MetaPWR to it can help, or something that you like, peppermint, to cut through whatever it could be the texture too. For some people, so stirring it really well can help.
Yeah.
There's all
Yeah,
different.
there's a few different. I've heard a few use less water, so don't use as much water. Use less water. Get one of the whizzy things so you don't have clumps, and try it in orange juice is the other one instead of
Yeah,
water. But I love the taste, so it doesn't
yeah.
make sense to me.
And maybe also because you've connected it to, wow, you're so much better when you're taking it, MetaPWR, like the
Yeah,
taste
I don't even.
factor. Mm.
It doesn't matter what it tastes like.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
Going down.
for that outcome. So you found it helped with sugar cravings, energy, sleep.
I have taken out a lot of stress in my life, no longer working a corporate role and juggling that. And I think for my health, that stress has really been a factor in my fertility and my endometriosis and all of that stuff. So I feel like one of the big factors was not going back to corporate after the birth of my son. And then, so taking stress out, then it was the food, and then it was just getting the right blend of supplements to just help me get through the day as a perimenopausal mum. We're not young parents. Like, I'm 46, my husband's turning 50 this year. So our children are 7 and 9. So a lot of our friends do have older kids. So we are the last to have our children in in that friendship group. And so yeah, sometimes we felt like we feel like old parents, like we're not only by age, but we actually feel like it. But now we don't have that feeling of feeling old
Oh, I
and
love
I
that.
can't keep up.
Well, you're radiating it. You look like you've got the MetaPWR glow. So
Or do I?
yeah, yes,
So
own
it
it.
is affecting my skin without me really knowing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's going to target different things, isn't it, for each person at a
Yeah.
different stage? Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like for me, it was the hormones and all those other things first. I feel like it is what they say. It does go where it needs to go first.
Yeah.
And for me, I really feel like it did that. It went to where I needed the help. And that was with my hormones, my sleep, my energy, and my sugar cravings.
Yeah. And even that, what you were talking about, the brain fog, and now your productivity. Can you talk a bit about that as well? Like, that's just remarkable.
It's, I actually don't know how I got through 20 years of working in corporate with the fatigue and the low iron and the brain fog that I had. I don't know how I managed it. It is just having the energy that you don't feel like you need to crash. Like, if at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you're needing a bit of chocolate, or you feel like you need to fall on the couch and have a little 20-minute kit just to get you through the afternoon. So I feel like instead of doing that 20-minute kip just to get me through, it's actually, I can be productive. I can prepare dinner for the day, or I can jump on and, prepare, like, because we homeschool the boys, I can think about, well, what do I need to print off, or what are we doing tomorrow? Like, it's just even those little pockets of time. It's not necessarily an amazing amount of time. It's just, you're not falling asleep early. Like, I'm not falling asleep at 7 o'clock now with the boys. I'm actually wanting to get up and go, okay, well, now what do we need to do? What bills need to be paid? And all those things that you do, clean the kitchen and make sure that's all set for the next day, and not feeling like it's a drag and that you just want to curl up and put the dressing gown on and crawl into bed.
Mm. Thank you for sharing your story. I can just imagine parents hearing this would be like, I need that. I want that. I want what
Yeah.
she's doing.
Yeah. And I remember going to the doctor after my second was born. I think he was probably 6 months. And I said, and I was starting to feel those low iron things again. And I said to him, I just need some tests done to see where I'm at. He goes, you don't need tests done. You don't need tests done. It's just, you've got 2 kids now. You're going to be tired. And I was just like, right, okay, I'm going to be tired. And so we just accept that because you're a parent, you're going to be tired. And yes, you are. There's more to do, but we don't have to feel like we need to fall asleep at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That is not normal. And yeah, there are bits of the puzzle that we can put together.
Yeah, yeah, well said. And I think similarly, like, what you're saying there, touching on as a parent, you're just meant to be tired. This similarly with menopause or perimenopause, we're given the
Yeah.
same message, aren't we? Like, you're just going to have to put up with those
Yeah.
symptoms, whereas there are answers out there. What about movement? Did it MetaPWR inspire any sense of fitness, activity, or are you just getting that naturally?
Yes, I have started some movement. Part of my symptoms was a lot of joint aches. So I was noticing my hips and my ankles. And yeah, I have done some online stuff just to help me manage those symptoms as well, but not exercise as such. It's more movement that I do and strengthening my body. But physically, I feel like I can keep up with the boys more than what I could. But for myself, it is more about building strength and really the flexibility and strengthening my joints and muscles being in perimenopause.
And is that because of taking MetaPWR, it's helping with those aches?
Yes, it has helped and has given me the energy. It's just me having the consistency to do it and fitting it into my day.
Something that's joyful for you, that you enjoy doing it, that you then want to, or someone that you can have accountability with, a buddy.
Yes, that's what I need. I think I need some accountability.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're going to finish it there. Thank you to everyone for watching this.